We interrupt what you're watching right now to bring you this exciting story.
It's the dance and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the pledge of allegiance on the 4th of July. It's some handwritten letters from home. It's some sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. It's the red, white, and blue. Lay down, he's alive. It's the red, white, and blue. 40 stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California. Uncle Sid's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. It's the red, white, and blue. Lay down, here's alive. It's the red, white, and blue. 40 stars and stripes. It's the red, white, and blue. Stand on the front line. It's the red, white, and blue. Pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was the man I lost when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you know him, you will understand. He was raised on a parade just to see the flash you wave. And then he came home with all he wanted. It's Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. All these stars are stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Stand on this red line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. He'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. 40 stars and stripes. Marching line. Marching line. Hey. Hey.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
Well, good afternoon, Erie County. Here we are. We are live. We are live. This is the back shot behind me. It gets to you get to see what I get to see, because it's a huge, moving, multi thing that just has a million parts. And Brenda's in the command center, keeping it all straight, and we appreciate that for what she does. The one other computer, that's just silly promotion. Just there it is. But you can see the American Eagle. He's always sitting there watching over, making sure our freedom is where it's supposed to be. And that's why we're here, to make sure our freedoms are kept in check. And I tell you what, with everything going on in this country right now and all the winning, I was sitting here getting the show ready on my side while Brenda's not working on her side. I was watching a press conference with Pete and the president introducing the F-47. F-47. Gee, I don't know where they got that from. But anyway, what a piece of machinery that is going to be. Hey, Kim, Mr. Peganoff, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you guys sounding off when you come in the room because, like I said, I can't see you until you do. Because the people are coming in, and I got X, Facebook, and YouTube up and running. So just chime on in when you come in. That way we can see you're here. But yeah, a lot of things going on locally. If you've been watching, the petitions are all in now. The light, kind of like the making sure everybody's petitions are done right, making sure that is everything is done by the rules. I know there was a guy on social media like, "Why do you guys got to do that? Why can't you just let the voters decide it?" No, there's rules because I don't know, people cheat. I mean, like people. I won't mention any names. Like people having you're running as a Republican, but you have Democrats signing your petition. No, that's not how it works. Or you're supposed to have people that live in Erie County sign your petition, not Titusville. So yeah, they're always going to try to cheat. They're always going to try to push the threshold and see what they can get away with because they can't follow the rules. I had one guy get snotty with me like that's what the voters for to decide that. No, they're not. Then you have the legislators change the rules. These rules are there for a reason because not it would be havoc and chaos and lying, cheating, and stealing at every turn. And then that way, I could just sit down with a Sharpie and fill them out and be done with it. And I'd actually go put the work in and talk to the people and shake hands, look in their eyes, try to convince them, well, why am I the best candidate? And why I want you to sign a petition. So, just that part's done. There's a couple challenges going on. I understand. One Republican guy that was running for mayor was thrown off, or he pulled it, or whatever. Again, that was the person that was doing a lot of shenanigans uh, with his petitions, and we have to keep those straight and clean and legal to watch the fraud. And that's what we're all about: is watching the fraud, waste, and abuse, which is the segue to going up to what's going on in the White House. Woo, man! Executive order getting rid of the Department of Education, and the Democrats are coming unglued, which we knew they would. And all the gaslighting. Oh, they're going to take away the food for the kids. They're going to take away for the all the special needs kids. They're not doing any of that. Stop the gaslighting. Chuck Schumer, you should be ashamed of yourself. I think we have a video in the mix of Chuck Schumer on that hack show called The View, trying to spew his hate about how they're going to force us to change. The Democrats think he used the word force us to change from Republicans to Democrats. Why would we go from a party that's got a 97% approval rating to a party with a 27% approval rating? They are desperate. They are thieves that are getting caught with their hands in the cookie jar. And that's why they are coming after Elon, which takes us segue into the next thing. We got some videos. All the videos that are coming out from people doing all this vandalism is unbelievable. These people are so dumb. They don't even realize that these things are nothing but an electronic mobile computer with all the things that it can do. Like, I don't know, have built-in security cameras where they're catching these people left and right. And then you got, Governor Timmy prancing around the stage. Thank you, Jesus. He is not our vice president, bragging about how he's pushing the price of Tesla stock down. In the same breath, his own state's portfolio for their retirees is packed with what? Tesla stock. So he's actually shooting his own state workers in the foot because of their hate. And they're too dumb to even realize that their hate is costing them a fortune. But that's how dumb they really are. They don't care. They were given their mission, they were given their marching orders, and the marching orders is Tesla bad. Push Tesla back. So here's the governor, supposed to be running a state, but he's prancing around the countryside, which I didn't know he do that. I thought he was supposed to be getting paid. It's just like our own Shapiro. This guy is, they talk about how Trump is into himself. Go to go, go to the governor's Facebook and TikTok pages. He's just sitting there, like he's some deep intellectual thinker. And it's a TikTok video. Uh, They spend now again, I don't know if this number is good or not. They spend over $1 million on their social media, just their social media. Who is paying for that? Who's paying for that? And you wonder why the Democrats are pissed off about us catching them with their hands in the cookie jars. I mean, they are literally coming unglued. They are grasping at straws. And, the best they've got is Bernie Sanders. You guys need to tax the rich. Dude, you're worth millions of dollars. Could you guys spare $5 and $10 a cent to me to fight these people? Dude, you write your own checks. He's groveling like he's some poor little hi Glenda. Guy that's homeless. Could you guys please just send me $5 or $10 to fight these communists and these Nazis, blah blah blah. And then what do? They pair them up. It's like the Odd Couple. You got AOC, and Bernie Sanders. He's a multi-millionaire. I don't think he's passed one piece of legislation. If I'm wrong, go ahead and correct me. But I'm almost positive he hasn't passed anything. All he wants to. This is what they're going to do. This is my prediction. This is a Joe Biden scenario. These guys have spent their lifetime fighting for the party. Joe Biden, this was his third attempt for president. They put him up to the front and they pushed him along. They're going to do the same thing for Bernie. You watch. They're going to try to reward him at the end of his career to be president. But wait a minute. These are the same people that when Joe Biden was the president, we say, isn't he kind of too old? No, he's fine. He's laser sharp, laser focused. That was their drill word. Laser focused. He got pushed out. They tried to get Harris elected, and then Trump wins. He's too old. But wait, the guy over there is older than Trump. And the point is the hypocrisy is how much of hypocrites they really are. They'll point their fingers at us. See, told you so. But then in the same breath, they're doing the same thing. They're going to push Bernie. You watch. They're going to pull the same. They have their playbook is so predictable. It's almost you could be a sixth grader and figure their tactics out on how they're going to do this. But of course, they had the primary, but they're going to push who they want to have the push. It's just like when Kamala came up in the, she was in the primary, she didn't get anything, and she bashed on Biden. I actually felt bad for him because she was brutal on him. And then all of a sudden, they're best friends, they're besties. Because the party told them to be besties. Because they wanted a black female. No. So that's the opening rant. I hope everyone's doing okay on this on this sunny, but man, it's a little cool out there. I took the Hunter trailer out for a trek through the urban forest. See, Hunter Forest, get that? That's, all right, never mind. We'll move on. And I met Brenda for lunch over there on Elm Street. That parked the trailer tactically up in the park in the intersection there, so everybody coming off of 26th Street could read it. And Brenda and I had lunch. So we came home. Brenda got the show ready. I came home, got my end of the show ready, and here we are. So, Brenda, well, look who we have here today on this Sunday afternoon, Mayor Bongo. Thank you for coming in, sir. It's always a pleasure. I hope the wife and your new family is doing well down there in Slippery Rock. It's always a pleasure to have us on your show, have you on our show. We appreciate you. And when you show up, that's when the the X-Men show up. That's a good one. See, all the X people show up when the mayor shows up. You must have a good following, sir. We appreciate that. Yeah. So we got a it's like we got a pretty good little group forming up. All the channels are warming up. That's why we kind of do a very long intro. That way we can get people to come on, get warmed up, get it going, everybody catch up. You know, because when you're on a radio station, they don't like those because that's money. Every time that tick tick tick, that's money. That it's money, but it's not that bad. So, but we want everybody to catch up. That way we can just start talking and get everybody chimed into the channel. Sit back with your popcorn or your adult beverage. It's Sunday. You've had a long week. You deserve it. Now, Brenda, what kind of good videos you got up for us up the bat?
Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety.
I do apologize for the grossness of that video, but I saw that and I kicked it around. Should I play it? Should I play it? Play it again. On the play that or not. But we decided to play it because I want the message crystal clear. You know, don't take my words. Don't take our following's words, the people that follow this show. This is not me. It's not AI. I'm not that smart to do a AI video of the mental illness behind this whole Tesla thing. When you have obviously an adult picking his backside and smearing it on the window of a Tesla, you need help. You need somebody to do an intervention and say, now, this is what adults do. And that's not what adults do. That is probably one of the most disgusting things in all the videos that I look at. Try to pick the best ones. Democrats are going nuts. No, Corey, I must correct you. Democrats are nuts. I wish I could erase your going because this is a display of how nuts they really are and how fixated with hate they really are. I didn't like Joe Biden, but you know what? When they were selling cars on the White House lawn, the Jeeps and the Hummers, did I go around and smear feces on them? No, I like Jeeps and I own a Hummer, so I can't be too mad. But I would never destroy them just because Joe Biden was told to promote these things. But then when Trump does it, no, yeah, you're using the White House to sell cars. Sniffy Joe already did it, man. He did it with the electric Hummers, made by General Motors, by the way, and Jeep electric. So this is just more examples of how nuts they really are, and we can't even reason with these people anymore. There's a bunch of funnies on. There's so much funnies online about how people are they're putting little placards over the back of their Tesla and put the word Toyota across it. See how because they're that dumb to actually fall for it. And one had said GMC, and it's just crazy. The story about the instant state where Stacey. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, we played that video before. That was my body cam. That's when Kamala Harris came through town. The guy walked behind me and goes, "You lucky the cops are here." And I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna threaten me with the cops?" Got right in my face. And yeah, you're lucky. What are you gonna say? Why don't you say it to my face? I'm the one standing here minding my business. You're the one that said you're lucky the cops are here. Yeah, so it's just an issue of I tell you people this not to gaslight, not to scare you. Keep it frosty, man. Watch your six. Keep your doors locked. I don't make any money on security cameras or anything. I don't specifically say get yourself a Ring door alarm. They're worth the money. Trust me. I got one on the front, one on the back. I have security cameras right here because I've had stalkers show up to my house. when we were pushing for Trump. I had people show up to my house. A guy on a bicycle used to stalk me all over the place. He'd find me down there, talk shit. He'd come up to my front yard. I said, "You step 1 foot on this property. I know who you are. We've got you on video at the dock with your shit, and now I've got you on video here at my house. This is ironclad. Ironclad. Your choice." Next video, please.
Tonight, Attorney General Pam Bondi announcing federal charges against 3 people nationwide accused of using Molotov cocktails to set fire to Tesla cars and charging stations.
We have charged multiple people. Get ready, more coming.
Investigators saying these images show one of the suspects in Salem, Oregon, carrying an AR-15 style rifle while throwing an ignited device into a showroom. The Tesla Center saying it led to about $500,000 in damages. 2 others in Colorado and South Carolina also charged. Bondi writing, "Let this be a warning. If you join this wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, the Department of Justice will put you behind bars." The attacks part of a growing movement to target Tesla as a form of protest against the company's CEO, Elon Musk, and his wide-reaching role in the Trump administration. This week, Teslas at a service center in Las Vegas also vandalized, and a website surfaced targeting individual Tesla owners, showing some names, personal contact information, and addresses for Tesla drivers, putting some owners on edge.
If I had known Elon was going to turn into what he kind of turned into, I don't know that I would have bought this car necessarily. But even so, people have good reasons to buy electric cars, and attacking people just because they own a Tesla doesn't seem like a good way to protest.
It's unclear who's behind the website, which appears to be taken down. Musk calling those behind the attacks bad people.
And they want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption.
This all comes amid a difficult time for Tesla. Just today, the company recalling nearly all of its Cybertrucks over an exterior panel that can detach and increase the risk of a crash. Tesla's stock now down 50% since its high in December. Meanwhile, as the White House rallies behind the company, Trump Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick urging Americans to buy its stock, which some experts say is a potential violation of government ethics.
Buy Tesla. It's unbelievable that this guy's stock is this cheap. It'll never be this cheap again.
And Liz, what more do we know about these DOJ charges announced today?
Yeah, well, the 3 suspects arrested face serious federal charges ranging from unlawful possession of a firearm to arson. And if convicted, they each face up to 20 years in prison, Lester.
Okay, Liz, thanks very much.
Now, this is the philosophical difference between the last administration and this administration. For some reason, the Democrats don't understand. Trump doesn't bluff. He never has. He never will. He doesn't have time to bluff. Sniffy Joe would bluff. Oh, I don't know. He would just make a statement. He couldn't even remember what he did 2 weeks ago. So you know what? This is going to be taken care of. It's going to be nipped in the butt. We have plenty of jails, and if they think that we don't, they will. Now we just got to get these district attorneys and these whack job judges to kind of stick it to these people because they earn it. Elon Musk, I think we talked only 12%. He only owns 12%. I think right around 12% of the stock of the company. The rest of it is companies, people, pension systems, pension funds. So you're hurting yourself. But this is how deranged Democrats have become and fixated, and they do exactly what they're told. And it's funny. You guys are the cold. I don't take my marching orders from nobody. Nobody. But you people take your marching orders from the Democrat strategists that say, okay, we need to come up with a trigger word. Okay, we can't call them Nazis. We already played that card. Threat to democracy. We've already played that card. Constitutional crisis. That was their newest one. Okay, they played that one out. The race card, nobody even cares if you throw the race card anymore because everyone's like, boring. Diversity, equity, inclusion. That's basically history, except for Erie because they're 15 years behind the times, so they're still beating that dead horse. and hopefully that'll catch up. I'm not holding my breath on the mayor being a big change. We have a Republican. We pray that he can push through there, but he's up against a tough battle. That's a lot of tough money. Tough money that he's going to go up against, and it's just it costs money to run these elections, and people don't get that, and they're like, oh, we'll help, but you also got to pay for mailers, and and you got to pay for postage and all this crazy stuff. Hey, Matt, sorry about that. Thanks for coming in today. You said you were listening, so you're driving from somewhere. So yeah, so Matt is running for city controller on the Republican side. We're grateful for that. It's nice to see that a lot of Republicans have stood up and not let these Democrats go unchallenged, because you think about it. You throw your name on a petition, you're guaranteed a city job. Well, now they actually have to work for it. And you know what? Donna and the gang, everyone that's running for city council, for controller, for sheriff, it's nice to see people put up, because you know what? Make them work for it. Make them have to work. And you know what? I'm not counting anybody out at this point on these races. I mean, it's really not, because the big pushback. And when you have the Democrat Party down to 27%, that's bad. Hi, Kim, you're live.
Well, good afternoon. Happy Sunday, Brian.
Happy, nice and chilly, sunny day out.
But not snowy. So I'm done with the snow.
Yeah,
so
we're
let's
done.
pray no more snow comes.
Snowed the other day.
And I'm sitting here stuffing bags because Gwen and Hope and I were all ready to start having pop-ups to get the vote out.
Yeah, we gotta think about some pop-ups. That way we can get people registered on my QR code that we have up and running. That QR code, I'll put it on the screen here, right here. If you take a picture of that with your smartphone, that QR code will take you to my link tree. The very, very first link on Linktree is voter registration. I mean,
Harrison was just
Yep.
giving me the numbers, and the numbers are very exciting. I think there's only like a 6,000 difference between the Republicans and Democrats right now. So we've come a long ways,
A
guys
long way.
and girls. But we got to keep going. We got to keep going. And right now it's a really good time to start flipping some of these voters. A lot of Democrats now want to come over to the right side, and check your voting status. If you applied for a mail-in ballot, chances are you have to reapply for that again.
Yeah, that I just got mine in the mail. You can actually check your status at any time. Follow the link, go to voter registration. Then the information's right there. I mean, we're spoon feeding it to you folks. There's nothing more we can do other than fill it out, which I'm not going to do that for you. You're all adults, you're all grown-ups. I can get you there. You gotta fill out that and request. You can check it. You don't have to request it. You don't need to put an email in there. You just check it. It'll tell you if you're voted registered Republican or Democrat, and then you can
Right.
ask
And,
for
and
mail-in
as you
ballot.
guys know, this is not a big flashy election, but these little elections are the ones that affect you, the voters, more than the big flashy ones. And last time when Brian and I ran, we only had what was it, Brian, a 22% turnout or something?
It was so embarrassing. I think it was in the mid-20s, but hey,
Yeah. So we really need you guys to encourage your friends, drag them along, get them to vote, because it's the only way we can get control back of our cities and the county again. And so this really, in all honesty, this is actually a bigger election because it affects you guys directly.
well, yeah, you figure your school board has carte blanche to raise your taxes whenever. As you can see, with the shenanigans on Erie County Council, they're going to raise your taxes. That's been an illegal battle. You're going to get a tax increase. So they gave you one last year that I didn't vote for. The Democrats wanted to tax and spend and get you one this year. Unless Brenton Davis can fight them off, you're getting a tax increase this year. Thank you, Democrats.
And Jasmine Flores is already calling for a tax increase in the city, and when they don't do that, they go ahead and they just give you another fee increase.
Yeah.
So these elections are going to be really, really important. I myself, I will never vote for a tax increase or any type of fee on your stuff because the majority of the people in the city, they're living at a 25% poverty rate. The national average is at 15.9. These Democrats are living in a little bubble. Their answer to everything is raise taxes, and let us spend your money on bullshit or give it away to a nonprofit.
Oh, absolutely. That's how they get reelected.
Right.
You know,
You
that's
know,
how
we we
yeah, that's how
we need
they
to put a freeze on these nonprofits. You know, if you don't have the money to run a city, what business do you have giving away our hard taxpayer dollars to nonprofits that really don't help anybody except themselves?
Well, yeah, I was driving down State Street today and I see a big Dora, what is her name? Doria?
Daria.
Daria, with a big 4 by 8 on the side of a child's daycare center. Gee, I wonder what kind of wheeling and dealing and politics went on that to get a 4 by 8 sign on the side of a building that I have never seen a sign on in my life. So, where was the deal made on that one?
Correct. You know, maybe some of that county money they just passed for childcare or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then I also want to make sure I do a special shout out to all our Democrats that watch the show and report back to the Democrat candidates that we're talking about them. You know, like Chuck Nelson and you know Miss Mursky, because they I know you could, they were Shank and his buddies were talking about you. I get a phone call and or Chuck Nelson had to put a comment up on my Facebook page and not one person even acknowledged his post on my page. So it
Well,
made me
I'm
giggle.
I'm glad we could provide them with a safe place
Absolutely. Yeah,
so they could vent their frustrations. You know,
right.
after all, they were nice enough to give us a safe place, so now
I
we can
know.
provide them with a safe
Yeah, they
place.
always have a safe space to come here. You can kind of hang out in the shadows and not say anything, and we barely even know you're here. You can't get much safer than that on all our channels. So I can't see all the channels. And speaking of which, X is coming up to 66. Thank you.
Wonderful,
Of
wonderful.
course, when
Yeah,
JD
and
shows up, yeah, JD shows up, he brings all his ex friends.
that's great. The X-Men are coming. I do want to let everybody know that Nancy Blackwood and her group are going to be putting on an event. I think it's what, April 6th, I think, in Wattsburg. It's not that far. And there's going to be some great speakers. Brian and I and Matt had the privilege of seeing Tony Shoup at Penn State Barron. And it's all about the shenanigans that are going on with the boating here in Erie. So it's going to be very informative. A great guy, a doctor, is going to be there. He's best friends with Bill Bockenberg and talking about how they're breaking some of our constitutional freedoms. And so it's going to be very informative. So if anybody's not doing anything that day, I would highly encourage them to attend. Our good friend Joshua Prince will be there along with Maria Batista.
Yeah.
Two wonderful, wonderful patriots that, we're encouraging everybody to vote for. Other than that, I don't have a lot to report on. Like I said, we will be doing pop-ups. Encourage your friends, even your common sense Democrats to register, and maybe they'll change parties. And with that, I hope everybody has a blessed and happy Sunday.
Yeah, Brenda put up the I actually have an updated poster. It's on the screen right now. You said Wattsburg, it's in Waterford, so a path to
Oh, thank
honest.
you.
Yeah,
I
that's
always
okay.
get those
No,
two confused. Brenda knows that.
no, it's perfectly fine. A pathway to honest election, Northwest Regional event. Keynote speaker Dr. Doug Frank, and it's called Follow the Data with Dr. Frank. Then Audit the Vote with Tony. Her and I have been texting. I'm gonna try to get her on the show. I remind her when our show is. We do Sunday matinees and Wednesday nights. So we'll try to get her on the show before the event. That way we can talk. We met her before up at Penn State Barron. Very, very intelligent lady. There's a QR code. It gives you more information if you want to RSVP. And this will be at the American Legion, post 285, 120 West 4th Street, Waterford, PA. And for your GPS is 16441.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I was amazed at the amount of information she gave Brian and Matt and I when we went the last time. It was so interesting, just a huge amount. And guys and girls, you'll be amazed at the way that they cheat. I mean, it was just amazing.
And it
So
was
I highly suggest you go out there. I will be going to the next county council meeting because, like I said, the county has really turned red. We have, I think it's like 46% of the county is Republican. So we do not have equal representation as far as the chair and vice chair go on the voting. They have Drexel and Copeland as the vice chair of elections. So we don't have equal representation. So I will be going and asking them to remove themselves and making Terry Scatella and Ellen Sharman 2 senior members of county council in charge of elections, because Mr. Copeland has gone on social media saying that he has given money to certain Democrat candidates. And I think if it's not illegal, it's certainly unethical for him to be in charge of elections at this point.
Oh, it stinks. I mean, the ethics behind it just stinks. Here you've got 2 Democrats running the board of elections, openly chastising the county executive, and then bragging about giving money to the Democrat that's running against Breton. Hey, you can run against whoever you want, but he's just so arrogant and flip about it. I mean, he's like a Chuck Nelson in training. I mean, he really is. And I don't know why he thinks that way. I mean, but hey, but this is what happens when we don't get out and vote. And I tell you, when we were at Penn State Barron in an audit to vote, they went county by county and gave everybody grades. Philadelphia failed. Erie County passed. Now that was when I was there. I'm not tooting my own horn. It's a team effort. We had balance on the board. We had a Republican chairman, a Democrat. We had a Republican chairman and a Democrat vice chairman. Board of Elections, the same thing. We had a Democrat and a Republican. That way, we played fair and balanced. But that's how us mean, not transparent Republicans treated these boards that are so important, because the chairman of the Board of Elections, if there's a discrepancy with a mail-in ballot, they have the final say. I mean, that's it.
Right.
Then they get, then
and
the lawyers
look what we have now. Even when we were doing the lottery to pull for positions on the ballot, here is Rock Copeland sitting there, boots up on the table, sitting back in his chair on his phone, and Drexel sitting there on his phone. They could care less. They weren't even paying attention. And then poor Christine Rush, who's running for district judge, asked Sue, can we have our phones out? Can we take some pictures? She's like, oh, absolutely not. It's against the rules. But then you got Jimmy Wirtz sitting there texting on his damn phone.
Yeah, how'd Jimmy Wirtz get his phone in the courthouse? Because, that's right, he's a Democrat and they don't follow the rules. I can't, as a former councilman and former chairman, I'm not even allowed to have my phone.
Right.
But then, the cheating Democrats, they get Jimmy Wirtz his phone inside the courthouse. No, but again, this is what they do. But then the minute they would have saw me with a phone, look at Shank. Shank's got his phone. See. You guys had your phone. Well, Copeland and and Pretzel, they're on council. They're allowed to have their phones, but and the rules were pretty simple. And this is again the Democrat sheriff. The phones aren't allowed in the courtroom. Okay, I get that, but there's no court going on. Why aren't you allowed to have your phones?
Right. That's what I want to know.
Because they want total control, and they've got it.
Yep. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you all have a blessed and happy evening. And like I said, can't wait to see all of you again real soon.
Yep.
But
our paths will cross. Thanks for your boots on the ground from Erie. We get a lot of good people coming in from Erie. And like I said, that, it's nice when the Democrats come in and watch our show. We should all say, give them a big kiss. Mwah. Thank you for coming to our show. Thank you for boosting our numbers, because the more people come in the show and watch, the better ratings we get and the more money I make. So thanks, Democrats. I appreciate you supporting the show and generating money that helps pay some of the fees and stuff we have to pay for. So thanks, Democrats. I appreciate you. The guy you hate because he's not transparent, that has a live podcast, isn't transparent enough for you guys. So play a video for us, Brenda.
What religion was Jesus? What did he believe? Well, obviously he was Jew. Where was Jesus born? Why does that matter? Born in Bethlehem, okay.
In
so,
Judea.
and he was raised in Nazareth, and he walked on the water in Capernaum. What country are those places in right now?
What does it matter?
It does matter. You know why? Because when I went to Israel, I came in contact with the living God that walked on water and rose Lazarus from the dead. When I went to Israel, I saw the Bible come to life. When I went to Israel, I saw Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Sarah, Rebecca, and Leah in the Hall of the Patriarchs. When I went to Israel, what I read as Bible stories popped open, and I said, this is the Word of God. This is real. These are not fairy tales or fables or things that we tell our kids. When I went to Israel, I was able to cry where Jesus cried, where he was betrayed by Judas and arrested, where he rose from the dead and gives us eternal life. I am not an apologist for Israel, but I reject wholeheartedly this narrative. Christians who turn their back on Israel, it says in Genesis and Romans and 1 Thessalonians, Paul said, you will bless the Jews. If you bless Israel, you will be blessed. If you scorn Israel, you will be scorned. There is a diabolical satanic agenda every single day to try and delegitimize the scriptures. And I will defend the Holy Land, the place that let me see where my Lord and Savior lived. And I will not apologize for that.
There you go. You know, Charlie Kirk, I'm telling you, syndicated radio talk show host. He goes on a Turn Point America, and I tell you what, he goes to these college campuses and shuts these kids down. And these kids are like, that's not fair. You know, you're an adult and we're kids. He's like, I didn't graduate from college, and you guys are here at an Ivy League college. You should be able to shut me down right here, right now. But they can't, because all they do is regurgitate the hate and the talking points from the Democrat cult party. That's all they've got. And Charlie Kirk one day was like, hey, why don't you go get one of your professors? Go get one. Any professor you want, I'll bring it. He came down. Charlie crushed him. Crushed this college professor, because the guy didn't even have, he didn't have a clue what he was talking about. He really didn't. Brenda, write another video.
Many Democrats are angry at Schumer. Among them right now, we've all seen the news. He's about as popular as chlamydia. But that to me says as much about the Democratic Party as it does about Senator Schumer. What it tells me is that the loon wing of the Democratic Party is firmly in control. Now that's great for the Republican Party, but it's bad for America. These people are deeply weird. For example, no honest person whose IQ is above his age doesn't believe that that biological sex doesn't exist, but they do. That's what I mean when I say they're deeply weird. Our Republican secret plan for dealing with the Democrats is called Operation Let Them Speak. But that's good for our party, but it's bad for America.
Operation Let Them Speak. Come on, man. Again, if I tried to sell this to you that this is what they said, you would say, no, there's no way. Well, that's why we give you a video. That's why you can see it right from the word. Not AI, not edited, nothing. Straight from their mouth. Operation Let Them Speak. Because look at, they got Bernie Sanders out there doing his speaking tour. AOC, yay, vodka. Anybody want a drink? And you got Tampon Timmy out there prancing around. That's the best you got. At a 27% proof rating, you'd be better just to shut up. But they're not that smart. They think they're the smartest people in the room. And how are they going to combat these numbers? We'll send out Tim. You mean the guy who lost the vice presidency? If they would have probably had a sharp vice president, the numbers would have been a lot closer. But he was, and I can't find any excuse for him. I mean, I get it. His wife's a little goofy, turn the page. Turn the page. I'm not making this stuff up. But the thing that got me was how he stolen valor. Stolen valor. he lied, he cheated, and he didn't deploy out with his unit, but was willing to he had this iron fist calls, people sitting on their front porches. Google it up. Google it up, folks. It's not me. And then his wife talking about how she enjoyed the smell of the burning tires during Black Lives Matter. And they've got the nerve to point their fingers at you and me and say, these people are weird. But they're trying to redefine who we are. They're trying to reprogram us to make us feel guilty. I don't feel guilty. That lockdown thing was bullshit. And every one of these Democrats locally that supported that lockdown should be fired. Bizarro, Harkins, Mirsky, all three of them should be fired. But we can't get the Republican Party to get off their backsides and get out and vote, or put a couple bucks into someone's campaign, or go out and knock some doors, or make some phone calls, or join the local Republican Party, become a committee person, make changes in the local Republican Party. We can't get people to do it. And the Democrats know it. And that's why they're winning locally. And it needs to stop right here, right now. There's no reason Harkins can't be taken. No one even challenges him. He gets a free pass. Bizarro. He's got big, dark money. Big, dark money. And, they were hammering on Davis about his post on Facebook. Go ahead, say that. Say something that Bizarro doesn't like. He'll block you. He'll block you and shut you down. But that's okay. That's Ryan. That's Representative Puppy Dog Bizarro. And then they give him an award for being the most transparent or some other bullshit. Are you kidding me? He shuts people down and calls people names. It's just like Chuck Nelson calling people bitches that disagree with him, that come to a council meeting and push back on him. Bunch of bitches. These people need to be fired because they don't represent we the people. They talk about Trump and all his rich buddies. Really? Go Google up and the most rich people in this country aren't Republicans. They're Democrats. The money's right there. So again, they're pointing the fingers at us, accusing us of, Bernie Sanders, tax the rich, tax the rich. Yeah, I'd like to see how much you pay in taxes. I'd like to see your tax returns. $75. Come on, support us, people. Next video, please.
You talked earlier about the role of the vice president and how it's different with each presidency. How are you doing the job differently than Kamala did it?
Well, I don't have 4 shots of vodka before every meeting. That's one way I think that Kamala really tried to bring herself into the role is these word salads, and I think that I would need the help of a lot of alcohol to answer a question the way that Kamala Harris answered questions.
Shady Vance. That people, when you're in the Marine Corps, you're not former Marine, you are always a Marine, and that shows. But it's the truth. You can't even, it's hard to even follow her and try to repeat like a segment of what she's talking about because I have no idea. Support. Yeah, here, I'll put that back on the big screen. Yeah, right, exactly. 2-to-1 billionaires support ratio for Kamala. How do you think she was able to raise so much money so fast? You guys need to tax the rich. How does Kamala, I'm sorry, how does AOC scream and cry about, I don't have any money to pay rent. It's too expensive. Now she's worth $24 million within, what, 5 years? You know, even Elon Musk was talking about, he goes, I'd like to know her investment strategy because that's some good money. 24 million in 5 years. But doesn't produce one thing, doesn't make one thing, doesn't make a car, a truck, a part, a spaceship, rescues stranded astronauts, doesn't do anything except tell us how bad our country is. If you don't like it, leave. Just go to some other country and go to Palestine and put your little multicolored flag up and say queers for Palestine. I double dog dare you, because I'm telling you, you won't be using that second half of your ticket. Video, please.
It was another very busy week here at the Trump White House. Here are the facts. President Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act to deport illegal migrant foreign terrorists and Tren de Aragua members to El Salvador. President Trump also launched decisive and powerful military action against Houthi terrorist bases in Yemen. Companies like Boeing, Johnson & Johnson, and NVIDIA announced billions of dollars in new investments in America, which will bring thousands of new jobs to communities like yours across the country. President signed an executive order aimed at dismantling the Department of Education after decades of declining academic performance despite trillions of dollars being spent on this federal agency. NASA astronauts who were abandoned by the Biden administration were finally brought home safely thanks to President Trump and Elon Musk. President Trump also delivered on his promise to release the JFK files with no redactions for the American public's consumption. And President Trump became the first sitting president in history to address a crypto conference. And last but certainly not least, egg prices have officially fallen more than 50% since President Trump took office. Gas prices have declined nationally for the fourth straight week in a row, and we are on our way to renewing the American dream. We are not tired of winning yet. We'll see you for next week's MAGA Minute.
I love those mega minutes. I mean, did the past administration ever give us any friendly updates? It was just all about negative, 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 negative. Trump, 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 Trump. That's all they said. I don't care if I ever say the word Biden or Harris again, but they keep pushing Harris into the news. They try to keep her relevant because they want to run her for governor. You guys can have her because Newsom is going to get crushed if he runs for president, because the hack job he did on California and the wildfires, you people better really, really pay attention. But that's on the other side of the street. We're going to have JD. It'll be at whoever they choose, be a clear fight. Video, please.
Tim Walz and his comments about the Tesla stock. He says it gives him a boost to see that stock going down.
That poor guy didn't check his portfolio and his own pension plan for state. It's beyond stupid what he did. He's talking down a 3.5% weighting in his own pension plan. I mean, what's the matter with that guy? He doesn't check the well-being of his own constituents in his state. I mean, that's their investment fund. Point, what a bozo.
Look, Tim Walz is a complete moron to me. I have to be very honest, and I'm not surprised why the American people did not choose him. Nothing against the vice president.
To just be hated, for people to want it to not do well.
I think go back to point one. When you set a car.
Yeah. So there it is. Not my words. These are the hotshot experts that are saying you're shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to investing for the people you're responsible for in your state. He's the worst governor. Is going to go down in history. One of the worst governors. He's going to go down in history as one of the worst vice president candidates in history. So yeah, bring another video, please.
To just be hated, for people to want it to not do well.
I think go back to point one. When you set a car on fire, you should go to jail. You're a criminal. I don't think we have to talk about it in any other context. And all those cars have cameras in them, and those dealerships have cameras. You're beyond being stupid when you do that. You're going to go to jail, and You now have a government that just got their mandate. They can't wait to find idiots that do this. You're going to spend 5 to 20 years in prison. If they get them on terrorism, which I think is a stretch, they will have no parole, no shortened sentence. They'll rot in hell in prison for 20 years. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, that's okay. Breaking in, shooting a car, setting on fire, nothing to do with the politics, nothing to do with Tesla. You are a criminal, and you should go
the broader
to
question
jail.
about the protest factor? I mean, you heard
What
Tim Walz.
protest?
Yeah. What are you protesting? Well, whatever the Democrat Party tells you to go protest. So yeah. If anybody else wants to call, please do so at this time. Because like I said, we're gonna try to keep it under an hour. But if it goes over, it goes over. Because if we keep it under an hour, that way we can put it on TikTok. Because our shows are so much fun and they're getting so popular, they go longer. Special shout out to all our ex folks. Almost 100 of you come into this afternoon. Thank you, I appreciate it. If you're here, just if you want, please just kind of and let us know where you're coming from. I'm not like a Democrat. I'm not going to post all your information out in the public like they did with Tesla owners. We don't play that card. It's just one of those issues. Just for my own, yay, we're picking up speed. We're gaining, and excuse me, still coming off that cold. I think you have like one more video left, Brenda.
It's taken away my Social Security. I'm Corporal Henry Thomas III. I fought for the Union during the War of Rebellion. Never thought the thanks I would get would come in the form of some billionaire oligarch deciding I don't deserve my benefits. It's hard, going to the skeleton wife and skeleton kids and telling them I don't know where their next meal is coming from. If I ever meet this Elon Musk fella, well, I got a real bone to pick with him. Oh, a bone. I didn't even mean to do that. But anyway, billionaires should not be in control of our Social Security. This shouldn't be controversial. I hope you'll support me and my brothers in arms by writing your congressman and letting him know it's time to stop Elon Musk.
Can I get some water? My throat is just bone dry.
Here's the problem. There's some Democrat watching this show right now. See, even Shank agrees that they're taking our Social Security. It's a joke. Relax. The joke is that somebody from the Civil War is still claiming Social Security benefits. So other than that, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Ex people, double thank you. We'll do I don't want to do the Elon Musk heart love thing because then they'll say, look at Shank the Nazi. And he's putting his hand out there like a Nazi, which I'm not. But it's okay when they do it. Thank you all, everybody from X for coming in. Just send me a message where you're at. I just love to know where and who we're talking to, because we're growing. We're spreading our wings. We're flying. We have a couple more channels to set up, and then we'll be up fully operational. And it's because of you guys and gals for doing it. So thank you all for coming out. A special thank you for Brenda for everything. We appreciate what you guys do to make us who we are, because this is your channel. It's your channel. I try to bring things that are important to us. Brenda, outro video, please.
All the things were gone. I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining seas, from Detroit down to Houston, in New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it on this Sunday afternoon. I will see you Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Again, and again. I can't appreciate Brenda's help in keeping this all together. Thank you all for sending us material. We appreciate that. And God bless Shank